everyone. Welcome back to OceanCore's Pollution Solutions, ocean-friendly shopping tips, science, and advice. All right, everybody. Today's ocean-friendly shopping tip is the beginning of the hard stuff, but also the most rewarding stuff too. We're going to start the process of reducing our dependence on plastic by shifting our shopping habits away from plastic and synthetic materials towards what I like to call full life cycle shopping. You see, in nature, everything has a cycle or life cycle, a beginning, a middle, and an end, all of which are considered when choices have to be made on their behalf. So to start shifting our shopping habits in a more responsible direction, we need to start thinking about the products we choose in the same way, considering the item's full life cycle, or its beginning, middle, and end, the waste created at each stage, and what we can do differently to reduce pollution as much as possible at every step along the way. It's a lot to think about, so we'll start with the beginning today, the things that happen to the item before it comes into our lives, and how to reduce our waste by mitigating that before we even buy anything. Then we'll follow up in future weeks with the middle and the end. Okay, the beginning of a product's life starts with the materials that an item is made out of. We've identified some specific materials in previous videos and which ones are good choices or not so good choices. Now we need to broaden the picture and think about what it takes to actually create these materials from scratch. So in terms of natural materials, generally speaking, we need to keep in mind the resources needed to make it, like time, land, water, fertilizers, and pesticides, and the consequences of using those resources. Like some materials take longer than others to create or grow and use more resources that might have negative environmental impacts, like fertilizers and pesticides. We are looking for the choice that takes the least amount of resources, can be naturally replaced the quickest, and has the lowest environmental impact. With synthetic materials, we basically have to consider the same thing. What do we have to do in order to get the materials needed to mix the next necessary concoctions to make stuff, and what are the environmental consequences of these processes? We'll need to extract the oil or petroleum-based substance from the earth, transport it to a refinery, then refine it a bit. Then we make and mix in the chemical mixers, fillers, and binders, and finally create the plastic thing itself. Geez, that's a lot of work, resources, pollution, and waste just to make the material that will make a thing. But now that we have the material, we need to think about the waste streams created while applying the manufacturing processes that make the material into a thing that we might buy. And this is really a tough one because there isn't a lot of available transparent information on this part from either side, natural or synthetic. Companies share nothing or only what they want you to know, neither one of which is honest or really helpful for you. So how do we decode this one and figure out which companies are pulling your leg and which ones are really trying to do the right thing by you and the planet? In the simplest terms, we have to rely on company reputation. So here are some of the red flags I've learned to look out for. Companies that share only a little probably have secrets. If you look them up and still learn nothing new, that says a lot. Companies that throw every eco buzzword in the book at you, I tend to hesitate and look them up. Things that sound too good to be true usually are. So if all I read on the website are the same statements reworded and put on another page, or processes that are not clearly defined, simply explained, or hidden behind a vague explanation and an asterisk sign, I look for something or someone else to provide what I need. For example, bamboo fabrics sound like a great environmental option, sustainable, eco-friendly, etc. What they don't want you to know is although the material itself is environmentally responsible, the process applied to turn it into a soft fabric is chemically dependent and highly toxic. Completely shifting gears, let me tell you what I do look for. Companies that are forthcoming and tell you where and how they got their materials. They tell you what manufacturing practices they use, even if they're not perfect yet. How they offset any negative impacts from those processes, like using solar power, planting trees, or giving back to environmental organizations. I want to know how they address the waste streams that come with packaging and shipping. If they think about how the item will be used, is it a one-time thing or a multiple use item? And I want companies that tell me how they actively address the waste stream their products create and take responsibility for it by either giving you instructions on how to properly dispose of it or by providing take-back or recycling programs themselves. If we need to think about the life cycle of the product in order to make choices that protect the planet and ourselves, I look for and want to support companies that do the same. Okay, I think that's enough for today. Next time, we'll pick this up with the rest of the beginning story with packaging and shipping, and then we'll move on to the middle, which is our part, and the end, disposal. So subscribe to OceanCore's YouTube channel, and please like and share. Help OceanCore continue to grow by visiting Nara Treasures on Etsy and making a 30% donation by way of purchase. And most importantly, whatever you learn here, share it forward. I'll see you next time.